I made your thing. This request came through the Google form that I set up, so thank you, Brandon, for using that. Brandon was after a phone case he could use in his car that doesn't stick to the windscreen and therefore doesn't obstruct his view. Brandon's idea was a case that you can hook into the air vents in the car and then it rests on the dash, and the weight of the phone will keep it in place as you drive. Brandon has an iPhone 15 Max, so the case has to be quite large. That's why this is as big as it is. The reason we've gone with such a simple design is so that it doesn't rely on any other mechanisms to keep it in place, and we can just use the weight of the phone to stabilize the phone holder. In the rest of the video, I'll show you how it was made, and I'll go over some of the issues that I had throughout the process.
When you go online to find a phone holder for the car, a lot of the options rely on sticking to the dash or to the windscreen. There are some that attach to the vents, but they're usually overly complicated, so we wanted to come up with something simpler. Brandon was really helpful and he sent through a lot of measurements of the aircon vents in his car, which meant we were able to design it specifically for him. Started with just a rectangle and then cut out a slot for the phone to go in. Also cut a slot for the phone charger. Then we had to add on these hooks on the back, which is a little bit tricky, but then we did a linear pattern so that it just matched across to the other one. Now it was ready to print, but I was a little concerned about how the slicer decided to orient the model, but it did use the least filament out of all the other options I tried. I went with the base supports that it suggested and was a little bit concerned about strength, and was proven right. The legs kept snapping off halfway through the print. To try and fix this, I went back into the slicer and added additional supports around the legs because they kept coming off. And this was able to print properly, as you can see here. But I'd actually done myself quite dirty.
This is what happens when you overdo the supports. I was worried because these legs kept breaking off that I needed to really strengthen them up for when I'm printing, but then it just filled all these gaps with support material, which makes sense. But man, it took me ages to get it off, so I'm probably gonna have to reprint this because it looks like shit now, but it should work to test anyway, so we'll see how we go. This is my car, so obviously not the same one that it's been designed for, but it's also a Toyota. The idea here is that we can hook these little hooks onto that part of the aircon vent there, and then the phone case will just support itself on the dash. In the car that it's actually designed for, the dash comes out a lot further, and this bottom bit should sit right on top of it, and then you can just slide your phone in the top. So I'm just using an old phone here as an example. Don't want to break it. It's designed for an iPhone 15 Max, which is bigger than this phone, so there's a bit of wiggle room here. I'll have to give it off to Brandon so we can test it in the actual car. This is more how it will actually work. You can see here the case is supporting itself, so the weight of the phone should keep it in place when you're driving.
There you have it, a slightly ugly phone holder. Make sure to leave your ideas in the comments here or through the Google form in my bio. Thanks!